If evil does not exist, God is not needed and his existence is invalidated. In this sense, it is the existence of evil that makes us aware of God and, more importantly, for the need of God. Conversely, it is the presence of evil that makes many people doubt the existence of God. This puts them in a philosophical quandary or paradox. Good and evil are unknowable as absolute, and yet, if they are not absolutes, they do not represent what good and evil are said to represent. But this is not the end of it, and it creates another problem, at least for atheists. If good and evil are absolutes, then they are opposites but equals, which implies God and Satan are yin and yang, equal by the absolute relative difference. God is infinitely good, but not because of Satan. But it is through Satan that we come to understand the goodness of God. It is not through the goodness of God we understand evil. The statements are not interchangeable or reversible. It is the existence of Satan even as unmitigated evil that teaches about the infinite mercy and compassion of God. But Satan is not the equal and opposite of God, though evil is the opposite of good. Satan encapsulates evil, but it is wrong to think of evil as being fully embodied in Satan. Indeed, while logic tells us that for every absolute there is an opposite, there is no true opposite of God. Even though we say God is good, it is not true to say that evil is the opposite of good as it pertains to God. Liberals claim were they God they would eliminate Satan and evil, and by this means, eliminate the need for salvation. It is difficult to imagine what they think evil is or why they think eliminating Satan would achieve much. Satan is not forcing anyone to do anything. All he does is serve as a justifier or excuse. This is why people portray him as a supernatural being akin to God, being everywhere at once, working black magic on innocent humans. We do not need Satan to give us a reason for doing wrong. Indeed, it would make a lot of sense to divorce Satan from evil. Satan is a fallen angel. He is powerful compared to us. Compared to God, he is as significant as a petulant child. But then what is evil if not the face of Satan? To be good is not to be of a refined substance. God is good not because of what he is composed of. Good pertains to value. God did not make reality out of a substance that is good. His reality is good because it is operationally perfect, or perfect in what it does and how it operates, which means it produces nothing that does not have value. God's reality manifests value and is the embodiment of value. This is why the sentient can see God in the universe. But there is more. God made us to worship him and to see his glory. Phenomenologists point out that our eyes only see a small part of the electronic spectrum. The signal that hits our eyes and is transmitted to our cerebral cortex is very artificial in its content. The body cannot take the essence of what it sees and transmit this into our visual centers in its entirety. There is a selective editing that is taking place. There is no objective reality because there is no standard to which we can compare our observation to that is not dependent on us and not subjected to some kind of editing process by the means we are using to observe the phenomenon. What we have is a result of what we are as humans. Our reality is designed for us. Whatever we may think of objective reality, in the final analysis, what we see is the human version. Which ought to make us wonder why this version of Earth, the edit we see, is so elegant and awesome. If good is value and God is good, then evil is nothing exotic or complicated. Evil is contrasted with good because evil negates the value of what is good. There is no way evil can ever be the equal of good because it is destructive and in that sense is self-destructive. Evil contains the seeds of its own destruction. The point is that there are good things in this world that have value. There are things that produce value and we call these things good. But there are things that destroy what is good and things that have value to us. These are evil things. They are evil because they are incompatible with what is good. Logically, we cannot have things that destroy value and things that are good unless we have evil, as this is the definition of evil. In this context, when we read statements to the effect that God created evil or that God is evil, we can understand that these are incoherent claims, at least interpreted in the normal way they are interpreted by atheists. We cannot create evil because evil is destruction. We can do evil or we can create value, but logically we cannot create evil as it is the absence of existence. There is none beside me. I am the Lord, and there is none else. I form the light, and create darkness. I make peace, and create evil. I the Lord do all these things, Isaiah 45 verses 6-7, KJV. God's creation of evil is not an act of creation in the positive sense, it is that because of his goodness there is evil. The Bible makes this clear when it says, I form the light, and create darkness. Darkness is not a created act but the absence of light. Without the light, darkness would not be known. Even in the testimony that God is the Lord and there is none else, it hearkens to the fact that it is the existence of God against which everything is measured and found wanting. Evil exists, as it logically must, when we do not obey God.